Welcome to Creepypasta. Please like, share and subscribe. This will help us make more content for you. Thank you.
Sister with Down syndrome knows things about people she's never met. Okay, I've always wanted to post this, but was always too nervous to. Since reading a recent post, I've decided I should share my stories about my little sister. We'll call her Diana here, for safety reasons. A bit of backstory. My little sister has Down syndrome. From my understanding about Down syndrome, many people with it are on the autistic spectrum. My sister is considered high-functioning autistic as well as having Down syndrome. Okay, here are the stories. Our mom had tons of difficulties with her pregnancy with Diana, and had multiple strange occurrences while she was pregnant with her. The main one being that, at around 6 months along in the pregnancy, our mom walked into her bathroom to find the box holding her wedding dress on the floor. That box had been in the attic since we had moved into that house. No one in the house knew how it got there. Mom started having contractions just after that incident and started bleeding. Dad took her to the ER, and after a day of her being in intensive care and having multiple tests done, my parents discovered that Diana has Down syndrome. After Mom gets out of the hospital, she sits me and my older sisters down to talk to us about this, telling us that Diana will have an abnormality, her words, and explains to us that she will be different than normal kids. I remember very clearly that everyone but me was crying. I remember saying something along the lines of, "But none of us are normal." Mind you, I was 12 and for sure my family is not very normal. Fast forward. Diana is born premature. I believe she was born at 7 months, but could be off a bit, has a ton of medical issues, and has to have surgery immediately after being born. She was in NICU for the first 2 months of her life. We finally get to bring her home after she recovers. She was the tiniest little thing. By the time Diana was about 6 months old, my parents started doing physical and speech therapy with her, because she wasn't developing the way a normal baby would have been by that age, I guess. I remember we were learning sign language with her until she was about 2 years, because my mom was afraid she wouldn't be verbal. Mom couldn't have been more wrong. Diana started babbling by about 8 months, and she'd always just lay flat on her back and talk to the ceiling, and just giggle like someone was playing with her. Mom always joked that Diana was talking to angels. Fast forward again to when Diana is about 3 or 4 years old. My mom, Diana, and myself are at a little Christmas party at a place for physically and mentally disabled people, where Diana took classes and the rest of us volunteered. The 3 of us are sitting in these pews waiting for Santa Claus to come on stage, so all the kids can go have their photo taken with him. Out of nowhere, Diana stands up and runs away from my mom and me, into the crowd. We chase her, and she runs straight toward this older woman we had never met. Diana grabs the woman's leg and starts bawling. My mom and I are apologizing to the woman, saying we don't know what got into her. The woman looks down at Diana and asks her what's wrong. This is where it gets weird. Diana tells her, word for word, in the clearest way I had heard her speak, "I'm so sorry that your mommy left you." The woman starts tearing up, and tells us that her mother had passed away a couple nights prior after a long battle with cancer. The second time, Diana freaked us out. I was visiting with my mom and Diana when she was about 10. Diana starts telling me how she talks to Grandpa all the time. He passed away when she was about 5, and starts telling me that she met Grandpa's wife. Grandpa's wife, our step-grandmother, was still alive at this point, and that's the only grandma Diana ever knew, so I tell her, "Of course you've met Grandma." She corrects me and says, "No, Mommy's mommy." My mom and I both froze. Our mom's mom passed away, and our mom was pregnant with my older sister, meaning none of us had ever met her. So our mom starts asking Diana questions about Grandma. She asks, "What color was my mommy's hair?" and Diana responds, "Yellow, but not real." Mom goes on to explain to me that Grandma wore wigs because she had been balding after years of battling anorexia, and she's always wear big blonde wigs. So, Mom asks Diana, "Do you know Grandma's name?" She says Jeannie, which was in fact our grandmother's name. Diana had never heard about Jeannie. It's a very sore subject to bring up around our mom, so none of us really know much about her. There have been so many other instances of her just knowing things. Like when I was in a very abusive relationship that none of my family knew about, and she once called me in the middle of the night, crying hysterically that I needed to leave my house and come home. After that phone call, my fiancé came home drunk and was violent. I left him after that, and honestly can't say I would have had the strength to leave, had it not been for that call from my little sister. Even to this day, she says she talks to Grandma, Grandpa, and other people who have passed away.
Comments. Details are important, and you did an amazing job of giving such details. How have those experiences shaped your view on the world? What do you think of it all?
OP. My personal opinion, and this may sound crazy, is that she can see past the veil because of her Down syndrome. She's incredibly intelligent and very self-sufficient, but she does still have a very childlike mind. I can honestly say that I would not be alive today if it wasn't for her. She's this little beam of positive light, and she's taught me so much about growing and forgiveness and love.
I have said it from day one, and it will never change. Special people have special abilities that the world hasn't been able to dim. They are sensitive to spirit, so pure. I have worked with special needs, particularly faith-based and teaching with children and adolescents who have Down syndrome, my entire life, and it's one of the things that draws me so close. I loved reading this.
OP. I'm glad that I'm not alone in thinking that. My mom has been working on building a nonprofit summer camp for special needs people ever since my little sister was born. It hasn't come to fruition yet, but she does classes in her home for community families who have special needs family members, art, cooking, math, English and ASL classes. Sorry, I'm ranting. Point is, I've been around people with all types of special needs since I was pretty young, and I've seen the same thing. People with Down syndrome and autism seem so especially in tune with. I don't know how to say it. The universe.
I was coming here to say this: Downs is an extra gene, isn't it? I mean, we only know some of the ramifications of that, like you pointed out, potential for autism or being nonverbal. But there's got to be loads that it unlocks that we don't know about. I would bet there's a lot more going on with Diana that she doesn't realize is different, and we may never know. She may just think it's normal life because it's normal to her, if that makes sense.
OP. Yes, essentially Down syndrome is the cause of an extra copy of the chromosome 21. Ever since my sister was born, I've tried finding more and more studies on it, but it seems like there haven't been very many actual scientific studies on it. I assume because it's not fatal. I'm not sure, really. The general belief is that it's a genetic disorder, but I'm no geneticist, so I have no idea how any of that works. Really though, I don't care. It's not a disability. In my mind, she's more able than the rest of us normal people. And it's funny you say that about her thinking it's normal. She actually has full understanding of being different. It began when she started high school and was being bullied, being called the R word. She had a really hard time with it all. I remember she called me one day from our mom's phone, crying about being called names, and she asked me, "Am I a R word?" I got so upset that anyone would hurt her like that, and the tables turned to her having to calm me down. Ever since then, she's recognized that she's different, and she revels in it. She flaunts it, even. That's another part of her that I admire so damn much. She's such a resilient and positive human.
Do you have a creepy story? Please share it with us in the comments, and we will post it on the channel. Please subscribe. Thank you,